It's done. Solace is safe. Thank the gods.
Well, that's that.
Hello, and welcome back. So you might notice, we're back to playing this, and more specifically, we are, how do I put it? Redoing things a bit. So I reloaded the save, I guess literally as I turned the sluice gate, because,
It's a magnificent keep. I just hope it doesn't become their prison.
yeah, it's not gonna be their prison, dude, relax. But, the game kind of broke when I first played through it, and I couldn't save Solace, which was really annoying. But now I can. So now it's just straight up telling us, okay, enter the garden, but I'm gonna go speak to Mahala, because, you know, of course I am. I'm curious what she has to say now that everything is safe. We still killed what's-his-name, because of course I did. But beyond that, everything will be different now because of the fact that this place is still here. And I'm just gonna go and speedrun this shit. I'm really not too keen on holding out and doing a whole bunch of, you know, collecting all the stuff and this and that. I'm gonna be honest, man. I really don't care enough. Most of the items I'm just not even going to be using anyway. So it really doesn't matter to me what weapons it is that I'm using. Aside from, of course, the current weapons I have and the outfit that I've selected, right? This is it, pretty much. But beyond that, I am going to do a couple of other changes, right? Obviously, I would like to go through and change how... And look at how many people actually want to talk to us now. Look at that. But I would like to go through and change the ending. I was not satisfied with the ending I got. Really not happy about that at all. So I'm going to go through and change the ending. And I'm going to go through, and I'll probably do both, or all three, or whatever. Whatever the three is that I end up getting, because there were a lot of things that I did in this game that will make things account differently, so... I will do the three endings that are allowed for me.
I feel crazy saying this, but Kostya was right. We should have let Solace Keep fall.
Crazy is one word for it. You really think you can just burn down someone's ancestral home?
Dearie, the keep isn't a home. It's a prison. And now the Pargrunen will never escape.
Solace is my home. I still don't get why any of you feel like you have a say in this.
But you left.
Because I chose to. Kostya doesn't get to make that decision for everybody.
If Kostya doesn't, Mihala will.
With Solace standing, those who want to leave can, and those who want to stay still have the choice.
Exactly.
The Pargrunen have always had the choice to leave, and we've seen very few take it, dear.
Amalia and her people took up arms and turned to banditry, and they still weren't allowed to leave. If anything, I imagine Mihala and her traditionalists will only make it harder to leave now.
I still didn't want anything to do with this choice.
As we say in Fjord, tough shit, dearie.
Bjotsley's right.
Enough talking in circles. Let's save our strength for the garden. I, for one, could use a long rest. And I'm betting the envoy could, too.
Who could sleep at a time like this?
I know, I'm excited too, dearie. But we need our beauty sleep, don't we?
Alright. Let's talk to Yatsley first, get her out of the way.
I'm starting to suspect that every single leader in the Living Lands is incompetent. Truly. Is there no vetting process? Hopefully those in Solace Keep will choose their leaders with more care in the future. But we should check on Marius. I'll make him some soothing perfume, but I think a few words from you would help too.
Are you mad that I refuse to destroy the keep?
Why would I be mad at you consigning a people to a lifetime imprisoned by their traditions and literal stone walls? Well, that doesn't sound like me at all. I do not envy the Pargrunen in any case. Meeting that council gave me a new appreciation for Vidaru.
Do you think that Fior could devolve like Solace Keep did?
There's always a way for things to get worse, dearie. I wouldn't be surprised. We're losing focus on the important things. Things like the garden. Oh, come on, Envoy, let's get going. How can I help, darling?
Yeah, that's enough.
Tired already, Envoy? Well, I'll see you in the morning.
Envoy? You're probably here to see how I'm doing, yeah? Well, I'm doing great. I always knew my home would destroy itself from within. I just never thought I'd get a chance to stop it.
You did well in Solace.
Right. If you get any more sappy, I'll think you've turned into a tree. But enough of that. You have a lot to do, and I'm right behind you. Right, changing the subject.
That's it, I guess.
What do you want to talk?
Let's see if he's got anything. Nope, nothing.
Right, change. If I must.
Says he still has something, though.
Envoy? Blacked out at that Audra and the lava tubes beneath Solace. But it seemed different somehow.
I spoke to the spirit of Nandru, actually.
Right. I actually believe you. This is madness, Envoy. You spoke to the founder of Solace.
He suggested that I kill Sapadal, actually.
Well, that's not what I was expecting. People in Solace always claim they're speaking the word of Nandru. And here you are, actually hearing from the man. Doesn't even really matter what he said, if you ask me. There are hundreds of Pargrunen who'd give anything to hear Nandru's voice. Blessed day impressive is what that is. Envoy, what do you need?
That's it.
Not before I've done some reading.
Okay, he's done. Surprised Kai
This
doesn't want
place
to
may
talk.
not have much going for it, but that view across the Acid Sea is really something at night. Shoot.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
your bedroll
He
for
is a
fangworms.
done character.
I must admit, I had my doubts about Solace. It was like a dungeon, except the wardens were the prisoners. You could have helped Kostya destroy the keep, but you left it standing. Why?
The wardens should decide for themselves whether or not to leave.
I agree. A decision like this belongs to the community, not the ambitions of one man. Even if Solace isn't going anywhere, I think your arrival was a sign of changes to come. Wherever you go, you break people out of their habits. You banish the old ways.
I didn't come here to upend anyone's way of life.
Fate doesn't ask us what we want. Wherever that power comes from, whether it's your heritage or political status, it's a terrible burden. I don't envy you, but at least you keep things interesting. What are you...
Yeah, she's got
Thanks
nothing
for
else.
talking.
That's not true. She does have something else.
Let me get this straight. You spoke to the spirit of Nandru, a godlike, same as you. What did he say? Any advice? Any words of encouragement?
He told me to kill Sapadal.
Oh. I take it that wasn't what you expected. I should have seen this coming. Never listen to the dead. They're cynical, full of regret, and determined to make us all miserable. Thankfully, you're still alive. Fate is in your hands.
What if Sapadal is as awful as Nandru says?
What happened to Nandru was ages ago. Plenty of time to reconsider one's choices. No one is closer to Sapadal than you are. Nandru lost that privilege when he died, which means you alone can judge the god of the living lands. Your opinion is the one that counts.
I don't really know what to think anymore.
That's all right. When the time comes, you'll figure it out. For what it's worth, I think you're going to be fine. No matter what you do about Sapadal, it can't get any worse. I wish I could say the same for the living lands. You too.
It's funny because it's actually just entirely untrue. It can get worse. I do need to see, though... Okay, Horse Cutter's leveled up fully. Aside from that. We can bump this. Boom, boom, boom. And we can bump this. Perfect. Now we just gotta wait to get the rest of our stuff.
Fury and Root Hog Ribs.
Really?
And crafting, we can make a bunch of these because we're not going to be leveling anything else up. So let's just get this stuff out of the way so we can walk in with as much maxed out stuff as physically possible. Oh, just shy.
Fascinating. Why?
Alright.
Why?
Yep, this is the crew we're sticking with up until we actually enter the new zone. But I think it'll give us a chance to reselect once we are actually through that door. Let's go talk to Mahala. I'm curious what she's going to say, if she's still going to be pissed that I killed Kostya, because I don't think there was a way out of that. If there was, I'm still pretty happy with my choice to kill him anyway. He was kind of a piece of shit. I understand what he was trying to do, but blowing up the home was not a smart decision. I don't think that would have been good in the long run. So I guess we'll see what Mahala has to say.
About the lack of ingredients again.
This place is fucked though. It's still it's like in ruins, more so than it was already.
We're alive! We're alive!
Yes, calm down. Why did you expect anything else when a new Nandru came to the keep?
Is that what they're calling me now, huh? New Nandru, eh?
I still can't believe that sucker subject.
What happened, Adirin? Is everyone all right?
For better or worse, the keep remains intact.
It is all I can ask for. Thank you. I cannot explain how afraid I was for my people and our home.
I couldn't even tell is pretty bad. That is, that's just pretty mean, but like, I feel like the way she treated me and the way we've seen her treat others, yeah, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I couldn't even tell.
Things cannot be the same from now on. Not after what we've endured. Here. I once was this artifact's custodian, but I failed in protecting the keep. This belongs to one who has proven capable of guarding my people. I wish so much that things had gone differently. Marius, could I speak to you?
Right, did she just ask that? Or am I having another nightmare?
No matter what Mahala says, you know we have your back.
Good. Let's save the hugs and tears for another time. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm so glad you're safe and that you're surrounded by good people.
All right. Waiting for the but?
There's no but waiting. That's all I wanted to say. Truly. I am genuinely happy you found friendship, Marius. You always deserved more than the world gave you. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you've always given me more than I deserved.
That was a kind thing to say, Mahala.
It was a true thing.
So, hardly any different. Can I tell her that I killed Kostya? No. Okay. Fucking weird. So, in the previous one, you can tell her, like, if you blow up Solace, you can tell her that you killed Kostya. But now, I guess it just doesn't matter. What? I feel like that's still really important. Like, that's still kind of a big deal. But okay, whatever. Whatever. Also, I got a skill point. Bump up Resolve. Everything else is looking pretty high. Alright.
Anyone in these days.
So I guess that's it. Honestly, I'm kind of not amazed by how barely different that conversation went. That was kind of lame. Not gonna lie. So I guess let's just make our way down. I mean, it's cool that Solace is still standing and all that crap, blah, blah, blah. I'm just kind of shocked, is all. So I guess for reference, the only things that we are actually missing, that I haven't done in this save technically, would be completing all of the oh my god, what's his name? The guy who does the maps, who gets all of his people killed. I technically haven't turned any of those quests in. And beyond that, there's a bunch of, unique items that I haven't collected. But I don't really see a purpose to go and grab all that stuff, frankly. Because we're gonna be hitting max level anyway, so it really doesn't matter in the long run. So we're just gonna press on. But no, yeah, we'll continue down this road. I was gonna say I might just cut it here and load up once I actually get past, like, towards the point that is going to be different. Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure everything else is just gonna be the same. Nobody, like, barely anybody mentions Solace once we get beyond this door. Like, they might talk about it a little bit here in the beginning, but aside from that, like, no one's gonna say shit. I'm just being honest. So I'm probably just gonna cut and run through it real quick and pick it up from there. Because otherwise, we'll be here for like 6 hours. Not really keen on doing that. So.
Closer. We have waited so long.
Well, this is it, I guess. Feels very different from the last time I left Galawain's tusks. I will say, it's nice to look out and see Solace still standing. Thanks for that.
Kostya had no right to make that decision for everyone.
Right. It's better that an Adiran envoy do it.
Solace is still standing. And so are you. We're in this together.
Just so you know, Kai, it's starting to sound like you like me.
If you happen to need a reminder, do let us know. Brooding in silence can be quite the mood killer.
Not to spoil the moment with good news, but I doubt the rest of the island has been quiet while we've been looking for the garden. Things have only gotten more tense since Fjord, and the Steel Garrote probably hasn't been doing us any favors on that front.
Especially when they're led by a woman who doesn't seem interested in staying dead. Not to mention, after we take care of the Envoy's little god problem, we'll still have an empire bearing down on us.
Politics draws as much blood as any battlefield.
At least on the battlefield, you can count on getting stabbed in the front.
can't say I'm too excited about just walking into the garden. I grew up learning I needed to protect that place, but it never felt like more than a children's tale to me.
I hear you. This island is weird enough when all we have to worry about are vengeful plans and soul-altering corruption.
Am I the only one who's looking forward to the garden? We're pioneers, stepping into the great unknown, a land of mystery.
We have to remember to love them in spite of their lack of proper enthusiasm, dearie.
You aren't frightened.
Of course we're frightened, but when has that ever stopped us? I have a theory about the garden, or a warning, depending on how you want to look at it. Sapadal has been imprisoned a long time. The garden will be a reflection of their dreams, their nightmares, their madness.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw visions or hallucinations, and not even the fun kind.
That's great. Thank you, Yatsley.
Anytime, darling.
Before we go any further, I have to ask you something. You told the Inquisitor that you intend to kill Sapadal. Is that still the plan?
Unless anyone has a better idea.
For once, I'm all out of ideas. Anyone else?
I'm a soldier. I prefer leaving these decisions to people like you, but if you're asking for input, I don't entirely disagree with Ludwig on this. She may be a monster, but she's not the only one the Living Lands has seen. Sapadal could render this whole island as barren as the tusks in a fit of anger.
Sapadal caused the Dream Scourge. All of this pain. I don't think I can forgive that. Especially after seeing Iancu. I just can't let that go.
Think of what we could learn from Sapadal. Perhaps there's a way we can keep everyone alive.
Sapadal is responsible for the spiritual health of the Living Lands, and the island has suffered for it. No matter what the Inquisitor said, I don't believe there's a right or wrong choice to make here. Just the one you believe in.
Oh, there is one wrong choice. Any other words of wisdom?
Just one. Remember, we're stepping into a realm that is both physical and spiritual in nature. If you can call it nature. There's no telling how long we'll be gone. For all we know, time could run backwards in the garden.
Does anyone feel like turning back? This may take a while.
Not a chance. We're a crew now, so you're stuck with me until the end. Marius?
I told you I'd be with you till the end. I don't go back on my promises. What about you, Giada?
You're not going into the garden without me. I have to see this with my own eyes. Yatsley, if you feel like running back to Quilici, now would be the time. No one would think less of you.
And tell Quilici that I missed out on the most exciting part.
Alright. Then we're in this together.
Fair weather or foul?
I plan on wandering the garden whether I'm traveling with you or not. I have to find out what the big deal is.
Agreed. I'm not waiting in camp while the rest of you have all the fun. Hope to see you out there, Marius.
Well, let's go then. We can't keep your god waiting.
The only person who has anything to say is Giada.
So, this is it. The spiritual epicenter of the Living Lands. Where it all began, and where it all ends. For so long I have looked out on a horizon full of possibilities. Now that it's here, I'm too scared to breathe. Why am I so anxious?
You tell me.
I think that I'm juggling so many variables that it's impossible to focus on even one. Do you remember when Manto Pastor sent you after the heart of an Adragan?
Of course. The power is invention.
That was nothing compared to this. We are standing in the beating heart of the Living Lands. Just imagine what we can do with it.
And why must we do anything?
Animancers don't ask why. We ask how. My parents were going to build a better world for Animancers. That dream was their legacy to me. You and I have come farther than they did. To an impossible place where anything can happen. Anything.
Whatever you need. I'm here for you.
Of course you are. I don't know what's going to happen, but you've had my back since the beginning. I won't forget it.
Know anything about the garden?
Well, that depends. I know a few spooky stories about the Living Lands. They may or may not have anything to do with the garden.
Alright, let's hear it.
Okay. But if something goes bump in the night, I'm waking you up.
Let me think of a good one. There are so many, I can't decide. Which do you want to hear first? I know one about a ranger's dream, one about a haunted well, and one about a golden city.
Let's hear the ranger's dream.
One sunny day, a ranger took a nap in the woods of Emerald Stair. He awoke to a forest of dead trees, the night sky full of unfamiliar stars. After getting his bearings, he walked in the direction of Fior Messiverno, but the settlement was gone. In its place was the most beautiful garden, hills bursting with flowers, the grass as soft as Valiant silk. Enchanted by this vision, he bent to pick a rose, but its thorn cut like a knife, severing 3 fingers. Then, a voice filled his head, shouting, "Go now, before the land takes you, body and soul." He awoke in his own bed, a wilted rose clutched in his 2-fingered hand.
Good one, Giada.
It's nonsense, of course, but that's why I like it.
Can I hear another one?
Of course. Which one did you have in mind?
The haunted well.
Once upon a time, a young girl left town to fetch water from the local well. After pulling up the rope, she discovered the head of a Delimgan, one of the tree folk, staring at her from the bucket. "Return me to my grove," it said, "and I will grant you 3 wishes." So she carried the head into a peaceful clearing and sat it down on a tree stump. First, she wished for long life. The head granted her wish. Second, she wished to be impervious to a sword blade. Granted. And finally, she wished to know what happens after we die. No one ever saw her again. All they found was an Adra pillar in the middle of a clearing, next to an old stump.
Spooky. I like that one.
I heard it as a child. Took me years before I would fetch water again.
Can I hear another one?
Of course. Which one did you have in mind?
Tell me about the Golden City.
Many years ago, when Fior Messiverno was barely a dot on the map, an animancer got lost in the wilderness. He came upon a pair of ancient trees, their trunks and branches intertwined. A strange light shone in the space between the trees, and beyond that light, a city of gold. So the animancer returned with an axe to chop the trees apart and fit his body through the narrow gap. But with every blow of his axe, the towers of the Golden City fell. The walls crumbled, the lights flickered out. By the time he made it through, there was nothing left. Only the bones of a once mighty civilization. As for the 2 trees, they were dead, hacked to splinters, leaving him no path back the way he came.
You know, these stories have a consistent theme.
Very perceptive. What do you think it is? I have my own opinion, but I'm curious about yours.
Mortals should not reach for immortal power.
As an animancer, I hear that one a lot. These stories might not shine any light on the garden, but they could inform the way we think about it. First, the garden is beyond all mortal understanding. If you think you're safe here, you're not. And second, when you walk into the unknown, make sure to bring a friend.
Good thing we have each other.
Indeed. I couldn't have made it this far on my own. Hey, you're a good listener. Not everyone has the patience to hold their questions to the end. Alas, that is all I can tell you about the garden. For now, at least.
Alright, that's enough.
Who could rest at a time like this?
And basically, nobody else really has anything interesting to say about this place aside from that, and we've already covered it. I just wanted to see if anything would change there, which it really didn't. So, no, we're not doing this. So, we're dropping him, we're taking her. I think I'm just gonna cut it here, and we will pick this back up once I actually make it to the end proper. And as you can see, a bunch of people have things that they want to say once again, but I highly doubt anything's going to be different. So, we will pick this up when we actually reach Sapadal.